Bennett Kessler filed the following report. Last spring, fire rushed down the Sierra foothills from the Bernasconi Center in Big Pine. Some 20 homes were destroyed by fire, known as the Center Fire. Now, insurance companies and homeowners have filed lawsuits. Attorney Peter Tracy represents Mike Rossi and his wife, Yvette Hannon. They lost everything in the blaze and have filed suit against the Carson Valley Men's Group, a kind of self-help organization of 30 or 40 men that had been on a retreat at the Bernasconi Center. They started a warming fire and thought it was out. Very strong afternoon winds whipped in and sent the flames down the hill. Fast firefighting limited the damage to homes at the bottom of the foothills. Now, according to court records, the lawsuit also names the County Office of Education, which had rented facilities to the men's group. Attorney Tracy said that the Office of Education did require $1 million insurance from the group, which they had. Now, insurance companies that covered and rebuilt other homes in Big Pine are believed to have sued the men's group and the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, owners of the land at the Bernasconi Center. Now, Attorney Tracy said no trial has yet been set and more depositions will be conducted in December. He said others may join the lawsuits. Some sources have indicated that CAL FIRE may also sue to recover firefighting costs. Tracy said these matters may end up in mediation in the spring. The community of Big Pine, severely impacted by the fire, galvanized support for the fire victims through local churches, especially the Methodist Church, where hundreds of pieces of clothing, furniture, and appliances became available to those in need. Well, Bennett Kessler also filed this report. Some uncertainty remains in two senior citizen programs partially funded by Inyo County, the Senior Legal Program and the Ombudsman Program. Now, a conflict of interest situation led to the end of the longtime legal program for senior citizens in Inyo and Mono in recent weeks. Now, Inyo County has gone back out to bid to find a lawyer to handle the program. Senior citizen problems over foreclosures, Social Security, Medicare, landlords, banks, and many other issues often found resolution under the legal program. Was partially funded by the California Indian Legal Services. Now, Inyo County usually contributed about $20,000 per year. Now, this year, when the program went out to bid, only California Indian Legal Services submitted a proposal. An employee stood up during public comment at an advisory council meeting to explain why the program needed more money. More desperate times and more seniors in need. Now, the advisory council to the Board of Supervisors did recommend a funding increase. Inyo Health and Human Services Director Jean Turner had recommended a lower funding amount. She reported to the supervisors about the advisory council meeting and plea for higher funding. Turner said Inyo County Council Randy Keller saw a conflict of interest with an employee lobbying for higher funds for her agency while also sitting on the advisory council. Now, Turner said new bylaws for the advisory council will no longer allow subcontractors like the California Indian Legal Services as members. This will eliminate conflicts. Now, do advisory council members understand the conflict of interest issue? Turner said there was a workshop on it at one point. Now, County Councilor Keller said that even though an employee of an agency may be the only one with knowledge of funding needs, they can't talk to the advisory council about it as long as they sit on the same council. Keller said the conflict of interest law is a very serious matter and carries criminal and civil aspects. He said, quote, "It's kind of unfortunate in this case," end quote. Now, Keller said that the employee did not mean to violate any laws and that the long-time program has been a good service. Now, the big question, what about service to seniors in the future? That's an unknown right now as Inyo County waits for proposals from local lawyers. Now, on another senior citizen issue, the Inyo supervisors awarded the Ombudsman Program to California Indian Legal Services. Longtime provider Ombudsman Advocacy Services lost out. A 6-person independent review panel had given California Indian Legal Services a higher score. Now, Pat West of Ombudsman Advocacy said her group would appeal. Health and Human Services Director Turner said they did appeal and a hearing has occurred, and she said that no decision is out yet. Now, after this story appeared on our website, sierrawave.net, longtime local volunteer advocate Selma Calnan wrote a letter to Sierra Wave Media, part of which says, quote, "The confidentiality that is required by legal service prevents us from really understanding the bulk of their work, and the information we gained during the public comment helped educate us. While an attorney's opinion is valuable, there is a larger question for the public in our frontier country. Does the opinion of one hired gun trump the decisions of the elected body, and does a citizen lose the right of free speech?" End quote. Now, the entire letter from Selma Calnan can be seen again on our website, sierrawave.net. Bennett Kessler also filed this report. There's more changes in Mammoth Lakes in the news, and an existing division of Mammoth Mountain Ski Area will now manage the neighborhood company at the village at Mammoth. The neighborhood company manages the common areas of the West End and village condos. Officials said this is a move to save money and improve efficiencies. John Varouk, president of the neighborhood company board, or Community Association Board, as it is called, said this new move will save money and allow for more investment in events and infrastructure. He said the Village Lodge management team, an existing division of Mammoth Mountain, will step in. Now, in a letter to village homeowners and tenants, Varouk explained the changes and said that the board reviewed 3 management proposals and accepted a 7-month interim proposal from Mammoth Mountain's division for what is described as, quote, "a fee that is significantly reduced cost to the previous management structure," end quote. Now, the board said further changes could be made in the future. The Community Association Board voted to eliminate the executive director position at the neighborhood company as part of the new plan, and the board thanked Director Dion Agee for his efforts and hard work. Now, the letter says the new management team will focus on oversight of staff's daily responsibilities, which include events, animation, snow and trash removal, basic maintenance projects, cleaning, hiring, landscaping, and basic security. John Varouk said that timing-wise, this new move responds to the economy we're in. He said, "What we have now is the new normal." Said Varouk, quote, "We're not going back to 2005. We have to work with our resources, how to manage them, and how to find the best way to work," end quote. Well, Ted Shady, the Great Basin Air Pollution Control District officer, answered several topics that were in that full-page ad in the Sunday LA Times, as well as a letter to the editor in the Inyo Register that was written by Los Angeles Department of Water and Power General Manager Ron Nichols concerning dust control efforts on the Owens Dry Lake bed. Now, in part, the letter from Shady states, quote, "Previous leaders at the LADWP and the City of Los Angeles have repeatedly agreed to their responsibility to control the dust caused by their water diversions. They shared the understanding that the LADWP's need for water comes with a responsibility to protect the environment and the health of the communities it impacts. These past leaders undertook one of the largest air pollution control projects ever attempted and have controlled almost 90% of the air pollution emitted from the Owens Lake bed. The problem is Owens Lake dust emissions levels were more than 100 times the standard, and in order to meet clean air requirements, dust levels must be reduced by 99%. The dust levels are 10 times lower than they were 15 years ago, but they are still 10 times too high." Shady continues, "However, with the end in sight, current LADWP leaders have apparently decided enough is enough. They have concocted a list of reasons why they should not have to comply with past agreements and the law." And you can read Shady's letter in its entirety again on our website, sierrawave.net. We'll be back with more news.